Welcome to this knowledge clip about rapid sensory profiling methods. If you need a quick fix, these are your methods. In this clip, I will discuss several methods that can be used for quick descriptive profiling, and I will end with a comparison of some of these rapid methods to get an idea of the consequences of quick profiling. Rapid sensory profiling methods are relatively new. That is why they are on the bottom of this historical overview. Some of them are listed here, but I will go into more detail for a selection of the most used methods. I will make a division between two kinds of methods, which are verbal-based methods and similarity-based methods. I will start with some verbal-based methods, namely flash profile and check all that apply, or CADA. These methods allow panelists to use their own vocabulary to rate the products. The advantage is that there is no need for training time, focusing on attribute generation or consensus training, which makes these methods relatively quick. So let's go into more detail. First, flash profile. For flash profile, 5 to 10 panelists experienced with sensory evaluation or the products are used. They each receive the total set of products, and they generate their own individual attributes based on their perceived differences between the products. After they made their final attribute list, they rank the products based on the intensity of each attribute. In the example on the slide, you can see that panelist or assessor 1 has generated the attributes sweet and strawberry for a group of 5 products. In the picture, you see that the subject placed all 5 products in the order of weak to strong intensity. When 2 products are put in the same place on the line, it means that they were perceived as equally intense for that specific attribute. Because this method is based on ranking, you get ordinal data, which have to be analyzed accordingly. An advantage of the flash profile method is that the ranking always has to be repeated for all products and attributes, which allows for a quality check of reliability of the data. A disadvantage is that interpretation of the attributes can be difficult because of the large number of attributes and the lack of definitions in the individual attribute lists. The second verbal-based rapid method is check all that apply, CADA. CADA is a quick and easy test setup which can even be performed by inexperienced or naive consumers. The method starts with a list of attributes predetermined by the panel leader and developers or researchers, and for every product, subjects are asked to tick all the attributes that apply to that product. In the example, you see such an attribute list. When all panelists have ticked their boxes, you will end up with a dataset like this, filled with zeros and ones per product, per attribute, and per panelist. These data can be summed up to frequency data and also have to be analyzed accordingly. Then we move on to the second part, which is about similarity-based rapid methods, such as sorting and napping. These methods focus on the overall differences or similarities between products and typically do not need attributes or verbal labels. These differences or similarities can be based on all sensory modalities and are up to the panelists to decide. First, the sorting method. With sorting, panelists have to individually put products which have similar characteristics together in a group. They are free to decide the number of groups and number of products per group. To get more information, panelists may be asked to add labels to the groups they made. In the example on the slide, you can see that P1 and P6 are more sour, and the group with P2, 3, and 5 can be described as fruity. When such group labels are added, the method is called labeled sorting. Sorting data can be transformed into a similarity matrix on the right, also with ones and zeros, representing the samples that are grouped together or separate. Then napping. The results you get from napping are not very accurate, but the method is ideal if you're not interested in all the details and you just want a quick screening of many samples. The method is developed by French researchers who chose the name according to the principle. Napping, of course, has nothing to do with sleeping, but is based on la nappe, napkin in French. And this napkin is the basis of the method. With napping, panelists are presented with all products together and have to place them on a 2D space, a napkin, according to their differences and similarities. Products that are more similar have to be placed closer together than products that are perceived as more different. The data that is retrieved from this product placing are the X and Y coordinates for each product. Also for napping, there are some varieties on the method. Terms or labels can be added on the product map to describe the similarities and differences between the products. The principle of napping with added terms is called ultra-flash profile. Be careful not to confuse this with the verbal-based method, flash profile. The second variation on napping is partial napping. In this method, more detail is added because each napping session is only focused on one sensory modality at a time. So for instance, first the products are placed based on similarities and differences in appearance. In the next session, they are placed according to differences in smell, then taste, and so on. Of course, more detail means more time needed to perform the tests and to analyze the data. Because no training is done for the napping method, some researchers were concerned that the lack of accuracy would not provide relevant information about the differences between products, especially when differences between the products are small. In the example, you can see that without any training, wines were placed close together, and statistical analysis would probably not reveal a lot of significant differences between the products. So to see if training would improve the results, a panel was trained on the napping method and on the product. As you can see in the graphs, training did significantly change the results for napping to become more distinctive. And product training was most effective, which can be seen from the smaller confidence ellipses in the graph. So small adjustments can make big differences in rapid sensory methods, but it is always a trade-off between the time you want to invest and the accuracy that you desire from the results. I want to end this clip with comparing conventional descriptive profiling with some rapid methods that I discussed. Compared to rapid methods, conventional descriptive profiling includes a lot of training and is the most accurate, but also the most time-consuming. So overall, we can conclude that more training, so more time invested, leads to more accurate results. But if we look at the differences between global napping and partial napping, simple adjustments can already make quite a difference in accuracy. In this clip, I discussed multiple rapid sensory profiling methods divided into verbal-based methods and similarity-based methods. Depending on your research objectives, but also on the amount of time or money you have and the accuracy you want to accomplish, you can choose a suitable method or any variation for your sensory research.